everyone, this is Scrap Lady. I am still at Cindy's house. Look at me in the spotlight. Whoa! Anyways, we did a challenge that turned into, well, Cindy, what did it turn into?
It turned into a cheat fest. That's what it turned into.
Cindy made a whole bunch of rules.
Because I love rules.
Okay, and I was like, yeah, okay. La 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 la. But anyways,
cheater.
So I cheated most of the time, and the rules were basically we had to pick out all of our stuff that we were going to use to make whatever we were going to make. We started with this thing that we bought at Tuesday morning. It was this little kit.
Seven Gypsies.
From Seven Gypsies, and we actually probably only used a tiny, tiny portion of what we bought. We thought, oh yeah, we're going to use this, and we're going to use everything in it to make what we want. When we opened it up, it was like, well, yours has a ton of this, and mine has a ton of this, and this is ridiculous. So it didn't turn out to be using that, but it was just a fun thing that we, you know what it really was we were just scrapbooking together, and we had to make something, and so we did, and but her rules were, which actually was really a good thing, that you had to pick out all the stuff that you were going to use. You know, we allotted ourselves so much paper and embellishments, and we picked out all the embellishments that we thought we were going to use for the book, and the ribbon and everything else, and then, or for whatever we were making, and then we put them in a box, and okay, the next day we were going to start the project, and we did. And so you open up your box and you have everything, which is kind of cool if you think about it, because I'm scattered. I wouldn't tend to do that. You know, I would like be in the middle. Oh, I gotta find this. Okay, 2 hours later, looking through my stuff, I finally find what I want. Which we took a couple of hours the night before, and we went through every single drawer she has, and every single jar, and every single practically, and you know, picked out. I like this. This goes with my theme, and so that was actually pretty cool. So I really think that that's something that that I will use in the future when making something. Get your idea, pick out your paper, and then go through all your stuff and pick out everything that you think that you would use for embellishments. And it worked out really well. I used almost all of mine, and then extras, and that was the cheating part. I wasn't supposed to use extras. But I did, and we weren't going to use stamps, and I used a stamp because I had to, because I made a boo-boo and I had to cover it up. So what I'm going to show you is what each of us made, how different our thought processes were, and how different our, what is it, our
style,
what we like shabby chic, like, what is that, how different our
genre?
No.
Taste.
You know, how like, you know, I'm bright colors and, you know, funky and this and that, and she's more of the shabby chic kind of vintage, and I'm more like, I want the bright colors and I want it to be cool, and I was thinking more like kind of an 80s theme for me, but anyways, it didn't really turn out that way, but that's okay. So I did go with the bright colors. So I made a book, and I used a binding technique that I've never used before, and I will try my hardest to put the link below to the video that I actually watched that showed the binding that I used. I can't really describe it to you because it's too complicated. I'm just going to show you the book, and I will look for that link and try to put that below to give credit to that person that actually I used her technique, and I don't know where she got it from, but it was a different technique for me, and I really wanted to try it. So anyways, this is my book, and it measures, what is it? It's like on Cindy's brand new mat. She got a nice, ruler would be good. Mine is 8 by 6.5. 8 by 6.5. So it's, the inside's like 8 by 6, or 7 3/4 by 6. So this is the front of my book, and the reason for the clouds was I opened the book and my ink pad was open, and I had a green thing of ink right there. So I had to figure out how to cover that, and I had a cloud stamp that I just got while I was here somewhere. I don't know where I got it from. I got it in a flea market that I went to with Becca. And so I thought, oh, I'm going to make clouds and cut them out. And I love my Sakura glaze pens, so I kind of went around it with the glaze pens after I fussy cut it. And then I actually did that to this. And so then I had this part, and I said, oh, the bottom's just not what I really wanted. So Cindy came up with the idea of cutting out the pattern that was on the bottom from another piece of paper, and kind of I backed it with a stronger piece of paper, and then cut it all out, and put the pop-up tape stuff behind it, so it kind of popped up. And then we saw this little bird right here, and I said, oh, I want to add that little bird. And then again I mimicked what was on the cover over here, but I added the bird, and then I drew in the legs, and I went over that with my Sakura glaze pen also, and it has like a little texture thing. And then this is the binding, and I loved this trim. This was Cindy had this trim, and it was so cool. And she said, I don't know what I would use that for anyways. And my colors are basically pink, green, and orange for the most part. There's blues and stuff in there too, but so anyways, opened up the book, and I put a frame so I can actually, you know, I didn't glue it all the way, so I could put a picture in there. And then burlap was one of the things that we had that Cindy couldn't use, and my kit had pink and green burlap, so that's where I got my color theme from. And then I used do you know what the paper pad was called? The paper pad that I used was called, sorry about that, it's called, oh my goodness gracious, this is horrible. You have this really super close-up view of me, and it's not very nice. And I should have been prepared. But you know me. Why be prepared when you can do something? The Pocket Full of Posies stack. It was perfect for what I needed it for. So Cindy had that, so I used that. And so again, a lot of these were her embellishments. A couple of them, the wood things, were mine. And then she had bought these at Tuesday Morning also. She bought them, and so we had to add these to them, and I used them as photo mats. And I don't think did Cindy use hers?
What?
No, Cindy didn't use hers. Actually, I went and stole one of Cindy's because I didn't even have enough, and she didn't even know that I stole one of hers. I went into her box because
I didn't have enough. That's why I didn't use them.
I was
short one, so I couldn't use them.
I was crafting and she was sleeping, so I was able to sneak into her box and steal things. But I only stole one of these. That's all I stole. So anyway, so this is the flap, and then the next page. I kept it sort of simple, but funky and bright colors. And I'm going to put pictures on here. And then I just loved these cards. These are the, aren't these the, what is that? Oh my God.
It's from Nambi. It's from Nambi.
Okay.
And it's like, it's their Project Life thing.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, Project Life.
That's from Nambi.
From Nambi, yeah. And then I put 2 buttons, and I used a piece of the burlap to tie in the knot on the button. And then this is the coolest washi tape. So then I put that, open it up, have some butterflies there, and then next page, simple photo mat with the pink bling flowers, one on each corner. These were wood pieces that I had from the Recollections, simple pastel collections. The wood pieces that they had, I used my, I have the At You Spick Up pens, and I use those to color. I love those pens, markers. And then I also used the Sakura glaze pens to put the white on. So this is burlap behind there, a little high, some flowers inside there, which I brought the flowers. And then this page with the bling, and then this page again with, I put a little banner in there that came with, that's a Heidi Swap thing. And then the next page, again, these are like little ladybugs up here, the camera and the burlap, and then I have a X punch, and so I kind of just did it on both sides, and then I outlined it with the white, something a little different. And then these were Brad's, and I actually just cut the backs off and glued them on with glossy accents. And then, okay, this is another one of those cards from Mandy, and more burlap. And then I haven't put anything yet on the back page. And then the back. So that's my book that I made. So it's interesting how we had different concepts. And Cindy's doing, she should be doing this kind of clapping. That's clapping for the deaf people. Not that I'm deaf, but I'm just saying, you know, if she's going to clap like this so no one can hear it, she might as well do this, right? So anyways, and this is Cindy's book, and this is so awesome. She does the hidden hinge binding system, and I like the hidden hinge binding system, but unfortunately I have to watch the video and stop it and start it and stop it and start it because I just don't have it in my head, and she has it in her head. And so anyways, she's got this really awesome album where she has, this is a pocket, but this is all stuck in, and look, it's so, I love this paper on the back because it's kind of like textury. And then you open it up, and see, this is what I love that I don't do, these little flap things, and then there's tags in here. And so I'm not a pocket person, but I want to learn how to be a pocket person. I want to learn how to have pockets and flaps, and because pockets and flaps are awesome. And then this is closed with a little paper clip here, and which I'm not going to pull off. Well, yes, I will. Sorry. Put it on later. So that's held on with a little, and then you open it up, and then there's a tag in there. And we played around with my new Memory Maker's envelope maker thing, or whatever it's called. I finally bought one, which I did show in another video. I'll put that on later. Which I did show in another video. So then this page, we have a pocket here with the tab that she put on them, and you did use my envelope maker to make these tabs, right? Yeah, we learned how to do that. Isn't that the coolest thing? With just the envelope maker, and I learned how to make a bow with it. And so this is the other page, and then this was one of the things that came in the kit that we got. That I didn't use mine, but she used hers, and you can actually slide in a picture right behind there, which is so cool. And then we have a tag here, which is very cute. And okay, so that tag, this tag, and then this I love. She put these three. It's on a brad, so they're kind of, you know, you can move them, you know, and then you can slip in a picture behind there, which is really super cool. And then this one, look at this flat page. Isn't that awesome? And then they're saying it's awesome.
Of course.
So they love it.
I appreciate that.
They're all saying it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can hear them. Everyone's like, wow, that's so cool. And then an envelope here with a tag. Oh, one thing I'll show you on mine. We had one little thing that we picked out. She had these wooden cats. Is yours still over there? Okay. So she had several of these little wooden cats, all different. Can you see that? Okay, it's a few different kinds.
I think it's fire mode.
Okay, so she said, don't you want a cat on yours? I'm like, no. Yeah, take a cat. I said, okay, I'll take a cat. You know what? We have to hide the cat in our book. She didn't hide the cat.
You didn't hide the cat. You didn't find it, did you?
No, I did. Yeah, she hid it on the table. Okay, so I hid the cat. I'll show you. I'll go back and show you in a moment where I hid the cat on mine. And so then this page is a flat page, which is so cool. And it actually goes like that. You know, so awesome. And then another tag inside the pocket here. And then look at the little ticket here in this little pocket. And then this page, yet another little, this is like a little bag with another tag in here. Anyways, there is a tag in there. Right there. See, a little tag in there. And she covered the bag. We had little bags, little envelopes, and little things like that. So that was fun. And then she left it like this so that you can actually tuck in a picture behind there. And this one, again, opens like this. So you have room for pictures there. And then another tag inside the pocket there. And then this one. And some tags in here. Really, really cute. And then the pretty flower. Was this one of the flowers I gave you?
Yes.
Yep, that was one of the flowers I gave her. And then, so we both contributed to the, and then this beautiful with the bling in the middle. I love it. And then another tabbed tag in there, and then another flap here, and then another pocket right there, which is so cool with a tag. And then the same thing here, and then the clock on the back, which is raised up, and you could put a picture in there too, but it's got tags and stuff. So much fun, and I just found it fascinating to see that our styles, that's what I wanted to say,
That's it.
how different our styles are. And I just love this album. I'm happy with my album, but it's like, oh, I want to make more flaps and things like that. And she said, I want to use more brighter colors. So we had a lot of fun making them. I'm going to just show you where I hid my cat. So this is one of the little envelopes that she had, and I hid my cat in the envelope. See, I put him in there. So that's where my cat was. So anyways, lots and lots of fun. And now we're going to work on, Cindy came up with an idea. I had made a baby album for Lori. I made her 2. And unfortunately, the one of them that I made, the one that wasn't in the photo album, I was going to bind it, and I had a lot of trouble with it, and I just kept compounding the problems. So we are going to, she's going to show me how to fix it so I can actually salvage the album and not have to do another whole album, because there's a lot of work in the album, and I love it. But I just did all different things, and I messed up the binding, and so she's going to help me do a reverse hidden hinge so that we can cover up my mistakes and then keep the album, which would be really nice so that I don't have to redo it again. So anyways, that's the fun that we've been having. I've been scrapping every day, and I'm scrapping more. I've scrapped more here than I have in a long time. So this is a true vacation for me because I'm doing what I love to do. And at home I have so much of a mess behind me that I can't do it. So I'm going to clean up that mess, and I'm going to scrap, and we are going to Skype and scrap. So anyways, having lots of fun. Have another day here after today, and then I go home on Sunday. Today's Friday, so I have one more full day. And you know, it's bittersweet. I want to go home because I've been gone almost a month. I'm missing my hubby, but I want to stay longer here because I've been having so much fun, and they've been treating me so awesome. But I want to go home, but I dread the drive home. 16 hours. But I'm confident now that I can do it. I'm going to make frequent stops, and I'll get there when I get there. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye. Say bye, Cindy.
Bye. Bye-bye.
All right.